In this video, we're going to learn how to make pivot tables. Pivot tables allow you to quickly summarize and analyze large amounts of data. Now, a pivot table is a special type of function that is unique to only Excel. They are great for summarizing values in a table, and they do so without requiring you to type in manual formulas. Now, if we use this data as example, this is data for over 20,000 different loans given in the years 2009 through 2012, the different loan amounts, and the data is coded according to 315 formatting. Now, first rule when you create a pivot table is you can't create a pivot table if you have your headings going down a column. You need your headings to go across columns, like this. You also need to make sure that all of your columns have titles in them. If there are any blank columns, Excel won't understand pivot tables and won't be able to make it. Since this data set is so large, rather than scrolling and highlighting all of the data, simply click this button up here in the corner. Go up to Insert, Pivot Tables. You'll have the option to select the range and whether or not you want it in a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. We want it in a new one. And this will appear. Now, it's as simple as clicking and dragging. You just have to make sure you know what you're clicking and dragging and where you want it. So column labels, whatever you put in column labels, you should also put in values. Column labels will go across the top, and you can think of those as your dependent variables. Your row labels are like your independent variables, and you only need to drag those there. So let's look at loan type as an independent variable, so we put that in row labels. And loan range as a dependent variable. Because it's dependent, we put it in both column labels and values. If you see though, it's providing the count of each loan range by loan type. To figure out, these are just simply coded numbers. You can just change them to whatever they actually are. So rather than 1, it's a mortgage, 2, car, 3, college, and 4, other. We can also filter out using these drop-down menus, the blanks, because we don't need those in our report, and the 1. Now this gives you a grand total of all in under $15,000 and grand total of everything. But let's say we want a percentage because we want to make a crosstab and put it in our report. To do so, you go over to Values and Count of Loans. Select Value Field Settings. For the most part, you're going to want to keep things as counts. But you have options of creating things like standard deviations, products. For this class, you'll only use counts. Next, select Show Values As. And rather than no calculation, we want to select % of row total. Now, if you see, these numbers are coming up with 2 decimal places. Proper 315 formatting says we don't have 2 decimal places. So to change that, go back to Count of Loans, Value Field Settings, and this time select Number Format. Just like you do in anything else in Excel, you can simply select percentage with 0 decimal places. And just like any other table in Excel, you can edit this anyway. So as always, Times New Roman, size 12. We don't want any color, so make it white. We can hide this. Center these. And while there is no specific formatting for how these are done, commonly you'll see a line dividing the last row and the grand total. So just go up to border and enter a border. And same with titles. Lastly, let's enter a border here. And now that you have the pivot table, you can easily change out data. So let's say you're not actually interested in loan amount and you're actually interested in county in which these mortgages were created, it's as simple as dragging, placing back. Just make sure when you do so that whatever you drag into column labels, you also drag into count of loans. Now once you make this Times New Roman again, you can simply copy this and paste it as a picture into your report. And this could be your crosstab.